All right, Jared, I believe you got everyone in. Again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Cody Smith. I'm at Old Oaks Country Club. I believe we had 80 to 100 people sign up for today's event. So very exciting. Means that we're finding topics that get all of you excited to make it worth your time to hop in. So really appreciate your time. And then a big thank you to Eileen Shapiro for carving time out of her day. She's quite busy doing what she does, so it's always a pleasure to have her. Again, if you're just tuning in, please use the chat. Um, these events work really great when there's interaction with everybody who's on the call with Elise. So please use the chat. Again, she might hop on and be able to answer that question immediately, or we might even save them till the end. But please, at any moment, any question, whether it's about her information or maybe you have a question about nutrition in general, please use the chat. Before I hand it over to the main event, no one wants to hear me talk, but in February here, just want to give everyone a heads up. February 13th, we have the ABCs of how to present yourself. February 19th, we have Mike hopping on from Florida, how gears and stack and tilt has allowed him to improve golfers of all ability. And then we have February 24th, inventing a golf product and bringing it to the market. So I think we have a great collective mix of different topics, hopefully some topics that interest all of you to hop on and want to continue to participate. Other than that, though, again, I think I want to introduce our main event. Today is about nutrition. I think golf has moved in the last 5-10 years into a wildly new place. It used to be just show up, hit balls, and play, and now we're actually going to the gym and working out, and we care about our body. And probably 90% of that equation, in my opinion, is about what you put in your body. And that's why I really wanted to find somebody like Elise to come here and chat with us today. I know my own personal things that I've got going on, changing how I eat, what I eat, when I eat it has really impacted my life for the positive. And so hopefully you guys get something out of today and see yourself, just whether it's on the golf course or at home, you just feel better. So Elise, I'm going to give you the floor. Elise Shapiro, a local nutrition out of Greenwich, but also a location in Harrison. So Elise, thank you so much for being here today. Really looking forward to listening to what you have to say. Thank you for your time.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you for having me. I'm super excited for this opportunity. I work with all different kinds of athletes in addition to what else I do in my private practice. So I'm super excited to be here. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Let's see. Okay, let me just change the view and then we can get started here. Okay, hold on, use slideshow. Perfect. Okay, good. Good. Okay. So, like Cody said, my name is Elise Shapiro. I'm a registered dietitian and nutritionist. What I tell people is
I get credits. I need learning credits. And this is one of our educational seminars.
Yeah.
What I tell people is that not all nutritionists are dietitians, but all dietitians are nutritionists, which means I have extensive schooling. I'm credentialed by New York State and Connecticut. And so if you're looking to work with someone, you should always work with a dietitian versus just a nutritionist or a health coach. I got my master's in clinical nutrition at NYU. Some of my specialties are I'm just trying. Okay, there we go. Sports nutrition, weight management, GI disorders, cardiovascular health, general wellness, and endocrine disorders, which would be like a thyroid condition. Like Cody said, I have a private practice in Westchester, New York, and Greenwich, Connecticut, and I do see plenty of people virtually, even if they're 5 minutes away. Some people just choose Zoom anyway, and you can all follow me on Instagram at Nutrition by Elise. All right. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, so topics for discussion, right? We're going to talk about the importance of proper nutrition for golf performance. We're going to talk about how nutrition impacts endurance, focus, and energy levels, which you guys all need, especially I've been speaking with Cody. You guys could be out on the golf course or out teaching for 6+ hours. So it's really important that we make sure we have our endurance to sustain your energy. Some challenges, right? Long periods of time without food, skipping meals possibly, and maintaining energy levels on the course. And then there will be time for Q&A, or like Cody said, if you have questions as we go through, please feel free to post them in the chat and I can address them as we go as well. Okay, hold on. I'm not used to presenting. Okay, there we go. Okay, so benefits of healthy eating, right? Some of us know this, but I think it's really important to reshare. It improves energy and delays fatigue, right? Healthy eating is not just about our physique. It's going to help with energy levels and delays fatigue. It's going to improve performance. It improves immunity. I'm sure you guys can hear I'm still like getting over a cold. Someone else is getting over the flu. It's major cold and flu season. So you need to also make sure that you're well nourished so that you're not sick, so that you're not missing work. Psychological edge, right? If you go too long without eating, at least for me, my brain starts getting a little foggy and I can't concentrate as well. So your blood sugar drops. So it's really important that you are fueling yourself properly before, during, and after, just to keep you as sharp as possible. It does prevent certain diseases. And as we age, it's really important that we're paying attention to our health, diabetes, blood pressure, high cholesterol. And plus, it's going to help to maintain healthy blood sugar levels, which is also super important for concentration. Okay. All right. So how are we going to stabilize blood sugars, which again, doesn't have to do with anything with diabetes. This is just about feeling good throughout the day.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We're going to not skip breakfast. Super important. I'm curious if anyone, I'm going to try, I typically, when I present in person, I make this super interactive. Okay, hold on. I see something in the chat. Let's see if I can look. Just want to get in a question early. What do you recommend to eat on the course for someone avoiding eating wheat and all the garbage ingredients and most protein bars? Okay, I will definitely address that. So that's a great question. But we want to make sure that we are not skipping breakfast before you go out for the day, that you're having a hearty meal, which I will discuss and absolutely speak about. You want to make sure that you're eating regularly throughout the day to keep your blood sugar stable. You want to combine specific foods to stabilize blood sugars and boost energy. So I'm a big fan of food combining. I call it a fuel mix, right? So your meals and or your snacks should be a combination of carbohydrates, lean protein, and or healthy fats. If you kind of have one without the other, it's not going to sustain you as long, and you're going to have like a dip in your energy and possibly, a dip and crash. So we want to make sure that most of our meals are a combination of carbohydrates, lean protein, healthy fats, which I'm going to talk about next. So how can they help, right? It's going to boost your energy levels. It keeps you feeling fuller for longer. If you just had, for example, toast in the morning without anything really with it, you're going to burn that off really, really fast. It's going to reduce cravings for unhealthy foods. I'm sure it can be pretty easy in the afternoon if you're feeling a blood sugar crash to want to go for, I'm just making this up, M&Ms or whatever is really easily available. So we want to make sure we're reducing our cravings for unhealthy foods. It's going to keep your energy levels in check and your insulin levels in check. Stabilize blood sugar, prevents energy crashes, which can affect focus and performance. And we know for golf, focus and performance is so important. Okay, so what are some examples of food combining? And someone just asked a question about like, what can you have on the course that's like not necessarily a protein bar, which can have some junk in it. You have to know how to pick the right one. So I love the idea of a banana with some almond butter or peanut butter. Obviously, I know you're not going to carry a jar of almond butter or peanut butter around with you. They make peanut butter and almond butter packets. You could have that, with a banana. an apple or whatever other fruit and some nuts, and you can buy the individual packages of nuts, apple and a piece of cheese, if available, or maybe this is something you have before you go out, you know, a Greek yogurt with berries and some nuts. Again, we want to have like the healthy protein, some good fiber, and berries count as a healthy carbohydrate, and nuts for the healthy fats. Whole grain crackers, even like a whole wheat pita with some hummus, or even like a turkey sandwich. That's really easy to pack on whole wheat bread with some avocado, or even if you need something less perishable, let's say in the warmer months, peanut butter and whole wheat bread. And you can do like a nice all natural, really eating this fuel mix, right? So the healthy fats, salmon and walnuts are both very rich in omega-3s, which also decrease inflammation in the body, which everybody can use. But again, if you guys are using your body in certain ways, we want to definitely prevent the inflammation, because that's just physically uncomfortable and can impede your performance. But we want to go for the healthy fats, nuts, avocados, olive oil. Those are all healthy sources. These are part of a balanced diet for golfers because they help with energy, muscle recovery, super important, brain function, and overall health. Okay. We all need protein. I'm sure you guys have been hit over the head so many times about the protein and your protein needs. But we want to make sure that we're actually getting it in and making time to get it in. So turkey, tuna, chicken, lean red meat. If you're a vegetarian, you know, eggs, tofu, yogurt, cottage cheese, even beans and lentils, some veggie burgers are great sources for muscle recovery and maintaining lean muscle mass. So when are we going to have this protein? I mean, we want it consistently no matter what, but you want to make sure that you are having a protein source within 30 minutes to 2 hours post round or practice to maximize your recovery. And again, we'll be talking a little bit more specific about that. Okay, hold on. I see a question in the chat. Let's see. Okay, high protein and fiber bars from Costco, question mark. Protein amount should match body weight. Okay, let's talk about how to calculate your protein needs. That's a great question. So what I typically do is I take, okay, perfect. So in terms of creating your protein needs, so you take your weight in pounds, right? So let's just do it for someone who is 150 pounds. All right, I'm going to do this calculation, right? So you take your weight in pounds, and then we want to put it into kilograms. So weight in pounds divided by 2.2. So 150 divided by 2.2 is 68 kilograms. And then you want to multiply it by an activity factor. So I would say people who are just regular activity, I would multiply that by 1.2. We can multiply it by 1.4, even 1.6. It depends how physically active you are, and how strenuous the exercise is. And again, if you're working out in addition to the golf. So we could even just multiply it by an activity factor of 1.6. And I am at, hold on, 150 divided by 2.2 times 1.6. So I'm at like 109 grams of protein, and that's for a 150-pound person. Obviously, the more you weigh, the more protein you need. I've noticed for a lot of women, I haven't seen too many women on here, but I know there are a few. A lot of people on Instagram, I feel like, over promote protein, and some people are even overdoing it on the protein. So I think it's really important to be able to calculate your protein needs effectively. And you don't want to overdo it on the protein either. So super important. Oh yes, thanks, Cody. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. High protein and fiber bars from Costco. So there is a lot of junky protein bars out there. I would say you want to always look at the ingredients, and you want to try and avoid protein bars that have artificial sweeteners in it. So artificial sweeteners would be like sucralose, which is Splenda, sulfamine potassium, which is Equal. Those are two of kind of the main artificial sweeteners that can be in protein bars, and I typically tell people to avoid those because those are fake sugars, which can also cause gastric upset, and they're just not metabolized properly in the body. If there is some form of stevia in it or like a stevia leaf extract, that's not so bad. And again, you want to make sure that you're getting a protein bar that has a good mix of carbohydrates, probably about around 20 grams of carbohydrates, around 20 grams of protein too. And then again, make sure that there's no artificial ingredients in it as well. Okay, cover the protein. Okay, can you comment on the xanthan gum and similar in these bars? Yes, xanthan gum doesn't worry me as much as these artificial sweeteners, to be honest, but there are plenty of protein bars that don't have the junk. Like I like the RX bars. If anyone's heard of the RX bars, those typically have like 4 ingredients. They're right on the label. It's typically egg whites, dates, some kind of nut. This brand Raw Rev makes a good vegan, so non-dairy, gluten-free protein bar as well that I also like. And IQ bars are also a plant-based protein bar that I like that doesn't have any kind of junky ingredients in it. And let me address the first question I got, right? Avoid eating garbage ingredients in most protein bars. I find nuts a great, easy, portable snack. If anyone has a nut allergy, you could always do seeds, like pumpkin seeds are a great snack with healthy fats, fiber, some protein, and they also have some good vitamins in them that are going to help to prevent inflammation. So if you don't like the fakeness of the protein bars, nuts or pumpkin seeds are a great healthy snack to just kind of keep with you, keep in your pocket, keep in your golf bag, and then you can kind of avoid the junky stuff in the protein bars. Okay, and healthy carbs, right? We want to make sure the majority of our diet has the healthy carbs, brown rice, whole grains like quinoa, whole wheat bread. You want to avoid white rice, white pasta, white bread. Oatmeal is a great healthy carb. Potatoes, regular potatoes, sweet potatoes, of course, fruits and veggies, legumes like beans and lentils are great healthy carbs. Plus, they also have some fiber and protein in them. So that's like a great food combining type of food. And we need this for energy or our primary fuel source for your body. And it can help to maintain energy levels. And so you don't experience that drop in performance. And again, let's say you had white bread for breakfast with eggs, you're going to spike a little bit and then you're going to crash. So we want that whole grain bread or whole wheat bread or even some roasted potatoes to maintain those healthy energy levels so you can sustain that. I've got one new chat. Okay, look at Bearbell protein bars. Okay, I will look at that at the end. Those aren't super bad. I do want to just check the ingredients in those as well. Okay, perfect. Close the chat. Okay, great. Okay, so how are we going to set ourselves up for success? So we want to consume foods that are rich in omega-3s. These decrease inflammation in the body. Inflammation is a problem for many people, specifically athletes. Fatty fish like salmon, if you don't eat fish, flax seeds, walnuts, you can also take a fish oil supplement. But omega-3s are great. They kind of keep your joints, moving properly. You want to consume foods rich in selenium. I feel like not enough people talk about this. This also helps with energy levels. It helps with brain focus. So you don't get like brain fog. It's good for, preventing fatigue. Eggs, which are a fortune these days, beans and lentils, nuts and seeds, seafood, oysters, clams. And again, this is all, I'm also talking about food to eat outside of when you're physically playing. Clams, sardines, crabs, saltwater fish, freshwater fish, leafy greens, and whole grains are all examples of food with selenium. We want to limit stimulants, right? Excessive coffee. If you have 1 or 2 cups, that's fine, but we try and want to not overdo it so you can actually sleep well. Energy drinks, any kind of soda, even diet soda. We want to limit foods as much as possible with additives and preservatives. You want to limit refined sugars and flours, right? That's candy, white bread, certain cereals that have no fiber in them, baked goods, white bagels, pasta. We want to limit those as much as possible because those are not going to sustain you properly. You want to limit foods in general that are high in saturated fat. That's going to clog our arteries. We all want to stay healthy as long as possible. Golf is a lifelong sport. So we want to keep you guys as healthy as possible so you can be playing this into your 90s. And you want to avoid heavy meals. Those are going to weigh you down, right? I'm sure, you know, if you've gone too long without eating, it can be pretty easy if you break for lunch to get a burger and fries, right? We want to avoid super heavy meals. So you're not going to be physically weighed down. All right, let me look at the chat. I will look at the Barbell bars at the end. What is natural flavors? Brazil nuts are a great example of selenium. Love that. Oh, someone's trying to rejoin from another device and needs to be let in. Natural flavors is just kind of like, it still can be fake, right? Certain seltzers still have natural flavors in them. I don't get super crazy about it because it's not necessarily artificial sweeteners, but it's actually not super defined. So it's like we don't typically know exactly what natural flavors are going to be. Okay, or chat. What about pre-workout stuff with beta alanine and tons of caffeine? So everybody knows, or everybody should know, their tolerance for caffeine. I'm a fan. The beta alanine is fine. If caffeine doesn't affect you in terms of getting a huge burst in energy and then an energy crash, because that can happen for some people. But if I do have plenty of people who can tolerate caffeine, I have people who can have a cup of coffee and go to bed. If I drink caffeine past 11 a.m., I'm never sleeping. So, you know, I think it's important if you do consume caffeine, which is fine, that you make sure you're not having those crashes later on and that you're able to sleep properly, because we need sleep for immunity, preventing fatigue, for energy levels. So if you're someone where caffeine isn't as much of an issue, then, you know, you can have that. But again, try and look for the ones that don't have artificial sweeteners like a sucralose or a sulfamine potassium, because sometimes those energy drinks do have that. Okay, so we want to make sure, right? So meal planning challenges, let's say, you know, you wake up late or you just don't have time for breakfast or you're not a breakfast person. I want you to become a breakfast person. It's so important. We want to not skip breakfast or any other meals. I am not a fan of intermittent fasting. I'm a fan of waking up, having breakfast within an hour of waking up, and then having something to eat every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day, which I know may not be entirely possible for many of you, but it's really important. Like I said, if you can pack some snacks in your golf bag, in your pockets, some nuts, some seeds, a healthy protein bar, we want to try and sustain your energy levels so you don't have those crashes. And again, it really helps with focus. And I would say plan ahead, right? If you guys know, I tell my clients, if you know your schedule the next, like the day before, kind of think about what your next day looks like, make a mental game plan, or even for some people, they like to write it out, or the morning as you're having breakfast, kind of look at your schedule and say like, okay, I know at this specific time, I can take a break for lunch. I know at this specific time, I can have a protein bar. And so I find that most people who plan ahead really set themselves up for success in the long run. So if you have to get up 5 to 10 minutes early so you have time for a quick breakfast, which could be as easy as like some Greek yogurt, berries, and nuts. It doesn't have to be a huge elaborate breakfast, and try and plan ahead and even pack your food, right? Pack your stuff for the day if where you're working, you don't have access to healthy options. Okay. Take some time each week to plan what you will have for the week, if possible, right? Make sure you're stocked up with protein in your home, or again, depending on where you work, if you know exactly where you can get these items. Make sure you're having veggies. We need the veggies for the fiber, for the antioxidants, which again, boost immunity and also can decrease inflammation in the body. So whether, you know, on a Sunday, you guys roast or air fry veggies at the beginning of the week, so you can have that, even if you're not bringing it with you, but this way, you know, when you come home for dinner, that's available for you to pair with a protein. Super important. You definitely don't want to be walking in the door and just, you know, having a slice or two of pizza. We want to make sure that you're refueling properly after a long day as well. Raw veggies are a great snack to have. Sometimes I just buy the bag of baby carrots if I don't feel like cutting up other veggies, if I have a busy week. And frozen veggies are good to have too, as well. And you want to make sure that you have these healthy starches available. Brown rice, quinoa, farro, potatoes, even make the little minute rice in the portable cups. super easy. Some people make a big batch at the beginning of the week and have that again for when they come home, or unless you can like pack a healthy lunch as well. All right, I'm gonna look at these chats. Pre-workout, let's see. Fan, how often should you eat red meat? Okay, I find Trader Joe's a great place for bagged veggies to roast. Love Trader Joe's. If anyone has a Trader Joe's near them, I'm the biggest fan. They even sell the frozen veggies that are already pre-roasted, super easy. How often should you eat red meat? I typically tell my clients red meat 1 to 2 times per week. If you have high cholesterol or history of heart disease or family history of heart disease, probably 1 or even just twice a month. But if you don't have high cholesterol, you don't have a family history of heart disease, then I would say 1 to 2 times a week because there are benefits to red meat. It is rich in iron. So again, as long as you don't have a history of high cholesterol or heart disease, you can have red meat 1 to 2 times per week. I would say try and buy the leaner versions if possible, like a sirloin, a filet. You can even buy the 90% lean ground beef. So those are definitely certainly better options as well. Okay. All right. So what your body needs before like a 4-hour session or a golf game, 1 to 2 hours before playing, right? You may also not want to eat immediately before, so your body has time to digest as well. So again, we need the specific healthy carbs, oatmeal, whole grains, bananas are great because they're rich in potassium, sweet potatoes, quinoa, the protein, which we need for healthy muscle endurance and repair, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese is great and has totally made a comeback. Chicken or turkey sausages. I like the Applegate Farms or Trader Joe's chicken or turkey sausages. Those are a great form of protein that are different from eggs. And the healthy fats. And we need to make sure we are including these: nuts, avocado, nut butter, seeds, salmon, and hydration, which is really important, right? You want to make sure you're getting in at least 16 to 20 ounces before you're even starting. And then we're going to also talk about how to make sure that you're hydrating consistently throughout, because that's really important, and especially as it starts to get warmer out. Okay, going to address some questions. Not a carnivore diet fan then. No, I don't believe in just only eating red meat. I think you should have a good balance of red meat, poultry, fish as well. Okay, grass-fed versus organic meat. So both are great. It can be harder to buy organic meat, so grass-fed is just as good. If you can find the organic meat and it's in your budget, even better, but I find grass-fed totally fine and appropriate. Someone asked about jerky. Beef jerky, thank you, is actually a great portable snack. So that's a great portable snack. I would try and find some of the more all-natural brands like Chomp Sticks makes good beef jerky. That's a good one. Archer makes a good beef jerky. You can buy these in CVS, but they're great. You want to look for the ones without added sugars. That's a great, easy, portable protein boost while you're working, while you're out on the course. That's actually a great suggestion. So thank you, Cody. Compared to fresh organic fruits and veggies, how much benefit do we lose by fresh, non-organic than frozen? Hold on, come here. How much benefit? So fresh, non-organic, and then frozen. So frozen veggies are actually super healthy for you because they're frozen at the peak of freshness, right? So those are great. Canned veggies are different. They're kind of typically in some kind of some kind of something in a can, and those are not as good. There's going to be added sodium. However, frozen veggies are frozen at the peak of freshness. So if you're worried about, buying a head of broccoli at the beginning of the week and you end up not cooking it and throwing it away, buy frozen broccoli, buy frozen cauliflower. You can buy frozen Brussels sprouts. There are certain fruits and veggies that I recommend buying organic, but not all have to be organic. Like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts are all fine, not organic. And if we have time at the end, I can kind of go over that a little bit more. String beans are fine, not organic. So there are lots of, I would say there's more veggies than fruits that you can buy just conventional. But yeah, frozen at the peak of freshness is just as good. Casein protein preferred in the evening due to a longer metabolism time compared to whey taken in the evening. In terms of whey versus casein, I typically go by and feel free if you want to expand on that question. more what's tolerated. Not everybody can tolerate casein, not everybody can tolerate whey. So for me, what I typically share is that whatever you're more likely going to tolerate, because not everybody can tolerate whey and casein. Some can tolerate one or the other. Some people can't tolerate either. What are your thoughts on protein shakes as a snack, and do they provide enough nutrients? Protein. Great question. Protein shakes can be an effective snack for sure. Again, if you're buying a, excuse me, pre-made one, you want to look at the ingredients, make sure there's no artificial sweeteners. Two brands that I like this brand Owen, OWYN. Those have no shady ingredients in them. Orgain also makes a good one that does not have any shady ingredients as well. And Koya is another good brand of protein shake that all have good amounts of protein, healthy amounts of carbs, and they're not going to have that junk in them. So protein shakes can absolutely be an effective snack if you're having long days, if you're if you're playing for a while. I'm not against protein shakes at all. But again, you just want to read ingredients. And then for those of you who like to buy protein powder, same type of thing. You want to look for a protein powder that has minimal ingredients. A brand that I like is called Terra's Whey, Teras Whey. There's 4 ingredients, super easy, very tolerable. And so if you like a protein powder, that's a good one too. Someone just asked, have I looked at Kachava? Thoughts? I think Kachava is a great brand. It definitely has a great balance. That can feel sometimes more as a meal replacement because it's a little bit heavier, but Kachava is a great brand if that's something that you like. How about Just Ingredients Protein? That's a great, super clean brand. They also have like a good collagen. So Just Ingredients is a good brand as well. Okay. You guys have great questions. Thank you. So examples of pre-round meals, right? So scrambled eggs or an omelet with whole wheat toast, with veggies. If you guys don't have time to make yourself eggs in the morning, maybe make a frittata the day before and you can have that for 2 or 3 days. Oatmeal with nuts and berries, and I probably would have an egg with it, or maybe like a protein shake. If you don't like eggs, because you want to make sure to kind of balance out the carbs and the healthy fats. You can make overnight oats with a Greek yogurt, which is rich in protein, topped with nuts and some fruit. Avocado toast is great. Avocado is a great healthy fat, decreases inflammation in the body. Also can pair that with an egg for sure. If you guys like something on the go, you can make your own smoothie. Let's get the banana in there for potassium, some peanut butter, another nut butter, a protein powder. Like I said, the Terra's Whey, the Just Ingredients. There's also a brand called Naked Whey that's also all natural, so you can certainly do that. And whatever kind of milk. I'm a fan of dairy. If you don't like dairy milk, like an unsweetened almond milk, is a option too. Chicken or turkey sausages with whole grain toast with some eggs, or a turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread. And a lot of my clients don't necessarily always eat a traditional breakfast, right? Some of my clients even eat grilled chicken and brown rice for breakfast. They prefer that over breakfast food. So breakfast doesn't have to be a traditional breakfast food for sure. Thoughts on raw milk. I'm not the biggest fan of raw milk, just because of like the safety. So, yeah, just for safety purposes, I feel like there's a reason in the US why we pasteurize our milk. Okay, so nutrition during a round, right? So we've fueled ourselves properly before we go out to play, and then we want to make sure that we are hydrating consistently. Sip water every 15 to 20 minutes in the heat, or even not. I find electrolytes are kind of a big thing these days. I believe that brand Just Ingredients also makes great electrolyte powder. I also like this brand Ultima, Ultima. That's what I use. I put in my water every day. I really like it. They have a bunch of different flavors. So electrolytes are kind of big these days. And then again, we want to make sure we're fueling properly. Maybe try and have something to eat every 4 to 6 holes. Cody suggested jerky. That's a great one. I'm surprised I didn't put it on, but thank you for the reminder, because you can absolutely do that. Protein bar, like the ones I said. Nuts and fruit, super easy. A banana and a handful of walnuts or almonds. the peanut butter or almond butter packets, with whole grain crackers or sandwich or even like a whole grain pita. The protein shake is a great one. Dry roasted edamame. There is this brand called Sea Point Farms that makes a dry roasted edamame. It's got a great combination of healthy protein, and there's some good carbs and good fiber. And again, for anyone with the nut allergy, or if you're working with someone with a nut allergy, that's a great alternative. Or roasted chickpeas. That's a great snack too, easily bought. There's a brand called The Good Bean. So those are a good, easy, portable, non-perishable snack. And of course, nuts and seeds, and even a combination of the nuts and seeds as well. Okay, just look at the questions again. Okay, let's see. Perfect amino. Coconut water versus regular water. So coconut water can be okay, and that is going to have some electrolytes in it. I didn't get to see all of you. If anyone's watching their weight, which I don't know if you guys are, coconut water does have sugar in it and stuff. So I'd prefer like an electrolyte powder if someone was watching their weight. But if you're not, if weight's not a concern, then the coconut water can be a great option too, as well. All right, I love the questions. So putting this all together in general, right? Again, we want to make sure we're fueling properly on the course and not, and at home as well. So super healthy breakfast, fiber, whole grain or a fruit, and a lean protein, right? Omelet, or again, a frittata with veggies. Let's get the veggies in for the fiber and the antioxidants. Spinach, peppers, mushroom, whole grain toast. 2 brands of bread that I recommend. I like the Ezekiel bread, the Food for Life Ezekiel bread, because it's sprouted grains. And I like the Dave's Killer bread. Those are 2 great ones. Of course, you can go to like, for anyone who's local, like a Kneaded Bread or even a Whole Foods and buy like a fresh baked sprouted grain bread as well. English muffin or whole grain toast with peanut butter or almond butter. That happens to be my breakfast every morning. I like a traditional breakfast, so that feels good, and that can last me like 4 hours, because of the good healthy fats in the almond butter. Oatmeal, which is also just great for cardiovascular health, made with any kind of milk and berries, or you can make the overnight oats. The Greek yogurt, the avocado toast is a great one, super easy. If you guys don't want to deal with like cutting the avocado in the morning or worrying about the avocado going bad, this brand Holy Guacamole makes little like cups of diced avocado, so you don't have to worry about again, like the avocado going bad. It's really easy. You just take it out, mash it on your toast, pair it with an egg, and you're good to go. Cottage cheese, for those who like cottage cheese, you can have it with some fruit, or some people, put it on top of toast, and then you can even put fruit on top of it as well. If you like it more savory, you can certainly top with like tomatoes, cucumbers. I've seen people eat cottage cheese in many ways. I'm sure some of you guys have seen some people blend cottage cheese and then mix it in their eggs for added protein. You can certainly do that, or you can always add extra egg whites if you want to boost the protein content of your omelet. And chicken and turkey sausages, those are great. Have that with some eggs. So those are all good, healthy breakfasts. And now lunch and dinners, and I feel like this may be more tricky for you guys, right? Super easy to pack a turkey sandwich. I pack my lunch every day, even though I have a fridge down the hall. I put in like a little lunch sack with an ice pack, so I don't have to worry about it. So it's also pretty easy if you're prepared and think ahead of time to pack your lunches if you know that you don't have time for a break. Turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread, a whole wheat pita, maybe some hummus or avocado. Top it with lettuce, tomato, however you want to top it. Maybe with a veggie and some fruit. If you guys have time, a big salad with a protein is a great option. And again, these can obviously be done on a non-work day, when you're not playing, but make sure you've got a protein, right? Some kind of healthy carb like a beans, and a healthy fat like avocado, or a dressing like oil and balsamic vinegar. Soups, we're still in winter time. Soups can be a great option. Again, those are portable in a thermos, like a lentil soup, a chicken and veggie, a chili, a vegetarian chili or a turkey chili. Even pair that with a whole grain roll and a salad. Any kind of turkey burger, veggie burger, hamburger, and a whole wheat pita, right? Like, let's not have it on like a big heavy duty white bun, but a whole wheat pita, a whole grain English muffin if possible. Have with some veggies or a potato. A whole wheat wrap, that's super easy to make, easily portable with grilled chicken or turkey. You could throw some cheese or some avocado in it, plus some veggies. And then some other like other options, chicken and green beans and a sweet potato for those of you who don't cook, or there's no cooking going on at home, typically at a Whole Foods or there's a Wegmans over here. You can buy prepared grilled chicken. You can buy a rotisserie chicken, have that for 2 or 3 days. It doesn't have to be, you know, after a long day, you're worried about coming home and cooking and preparing foods. Omelets can be a great go-to for lunch or dinner. I love doing eggs for dinner. For those who maybe a vegetarian, right? You could do like a mix of beans or even like some tuna in a salad with some quinoa, or even throw that in a whole wheat pita. Veggie burgers. Dr. Prager's makes great veggie burgers, and you don't have to be a vegetarian to eat these options too. On a whole wheat English muffin, topped with some cheese. Quinoa is a great whole grain because it has some protein in it, mixed with some chickpeas and tofu. Again, I tried to give some other options that were, in case there were any vegetarians on here. Chicken or shrimp, or even a tofu stir fry with veggies and brown rice. Turkey meatballs with zucchini noodles, or even a whole wheat or a protein pasta. Barilla Plus makes a great protein pasta, which has like a good balance of carbs and protein. Or fish, or cod with some spinach, a salmon or a cod with spinach and quinoa. And then again, just kind of a reminder of some easy energy boosting snacks, fresh fruit, a Greek yogurt, the cottage cheese, a peanut butter sandwich, so easy and portable, turkey sandwich, whole grain crackers and peanut butter or almond butter, nut butter with carrots or celery, nut butter with an apple or a banana, hummus with veggies, or even like pita chips or a protein bar. And then steps for success, and then we're almost done. Don't skip breakfast or other meals. Make sure we have balanced meals, the food combining protein, fat, carbs. Eat every 3 to 5 hours. Stay hydrated. Plan ahead if you have a busy day. And let's make sure we're fueling your body with high quality food. And then with that, let me stop my share. I will take any other questions that anyone may have. Okay, let's see. Can I cheat ever? I eat chocolate. Yes, I'm a big fan of everything in moderation. So even like, dark chocolate is good for you because dark chocolate has antioxidants. And I don't believe in totally depriving yourself. So even if you have like 2 to 3 squares of dark chocolate, you can do that every single day. But buy a high quality chocolate. Let's not do like Hershey's or something like that. I've heard of Carb Diem pasta. That can be a great pasta alternative. I love all these questions. What are your thoughts on vegetable oils? I think the next one's like palm oils, etc. So I think a lot of people on social media have scare tactics, for sure. It is much better to use olive oil, avocado oil. However, certain dishes call for a vegetable oil, canola oil. As long as you're using them in moderation, it's fine. It's not poison. We've been using these forever. Again, I think it kind of got blown out of control on Instagram and TikTok. But again, olive oil, avocado oil, definitely better because those are higher in the monounsaturated fats. But if something calls for vegetable oil or has vegetable oil in it, don't stress yourself out. Creatine, great question. Creatine is coming up more and more, even in my regular practice. It can be okay for muscle building, also can help, and definitely for women, like I know majority are men, but for women going through menopause, it can help with like mental focus. So creatine, I would start with something small, like 3 grams, or even less. And see how you feel and see how you tolerate it. I don't think everyone needs to be on creatine, but if it's something you've been thinking about, then it can be an addition to your regular routine, but I would start small and not overdo it. Some people do increase their water weight when they start with the creatine. for sure. So just be aware of that as well. Let's see. If we're interested in your services, do you taking new clients, does insurance ever cover visits? Great question. Right now, you currently have to pay out of pocket for my services. However, although I'm in the process of getting approved by some insurances, I don't have them yet. However, if you wanted to see me pay out of pocket, I give everyone a receipt to get reimbursed. So if you have a family history of heart disease, if you have a vitamin deficiency, I am happy to code it so you can hopefully get reimbursed, but you would have to pay out of pocket. I would give you the medical receipt for reimbursement. And then hopefully when I start taking insurance, I can make that announcement. Thoughts on
Elise, real quick, not to interrupt, you're good on time. I don't want to,
I'm not in a rush. I'm free till 12:15, so as long as I can keep going.
okay,
Yeah.
great. You're more popular than some of the golf content we get. This is the
I'm
most active the Q&A has ever been, so congratulations.
excited. Okay, listen, we may need to do a part 2 down the road, but
Um,
I'm free till 12:15, so I'm happy to answer these questions as long as people wanna ask them.
Yeah. I might
Uh,
cut the line here on some of these questions. I think, as we go up and down the aisles at some of these grocery stores, CVS, I feel like I'm starting to see this trend towards mushroom supplements. And
Yep.
on tour, you're hearing about the pros, and it's probably a different type of mushroom, but like microdosing mushrooms. So I just think like the conversation around mushrooms is gone up. I was
Yep.
actually even in Whole Foods the other day, and there was like 7 different versions of turkey tail, and it's just like, 7 different versions of lion's mane. So curious
Yep.
on just like what your thoughts are on that kind of current trend at the moment.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I don't know much in terms of like microdosing mushrooms. So I don't know much about that, to be honest. I did look up those supplements before we kind of started. So in terms of like the mushroom supplements, the lion's mane, cordyceps, reishi, you know, is it totally proven? I think the jury's still out. Okay, some golfers might incorporate them into smoothies or take them part of their daily supplement routine. Um, I don't think that they're harmful in any way. So again, I think if it's something you want to try, it can certainly help with mental clarity, focus, energy. Um, Personally, I don't know enough about the dosing for that. So I would say you're probably better off, like a lot of the people in Whole Foods or even a vitamin shop are probably more well versed in terms of like the dosing and how that all works, but those are all fairly safe, that you can certainly try. If someone's looking to do something a little bit more traditional, I like turmeric as a supplement that helps to bring down inflammation in the body. Turmeric, omega-3s, sometimes vitamin D. Even if you guys are outside playing all day, it really is hard for our bodies to convert vitamin D the way that we're supposed to. So a vitamin D supplement can always be a good option. I always tell my clients when they go for their physical, make sure that they get their vitamin D levels checked because a lot of us are deficient. And hopefully you guys, when you're playing, are wearing sunscreen anyway. But the lion's mane, some of those things, I don't think that they're harmful at all. So I think that could be something interesting to try. Like Cody, have you tried it yet?
Yeah, so I mean, my journey might be different than others. I've kind of gone off the deep end maybe a little bit, where like I went with 10x Health, and I did a methylation test for like the genetics of like where your deficiencies are, and like I've done blood tests for whether it be allergies or just finding other deficiencies. And look, I've probably for a few weeks now have done some like the mushroom supplements, like on top of um, pure encapsulations like multivitamin. So,
Love.
I feel like there's a difference.
Yep.
I think I've added a little bit more like omega-3 as well. So I think just the culmination of it has, for me, improved like the gut health. I mean, for me, that's my big thing is like
Yep.
gut health, because I think it hinders my energy, whether
Yep.
daily life, walking the dog, or trying to make a 3-footer on all my staff at Old Oaks.
Yep.
I've noticed a big help. So yeah, so far, as you said, it's kind of like the jury's out maybe on it,
Yeah.
from a personal experience. But, you know, in a 2 week period, and like I write things down, I track, like I'm a little crazy, like how many bananas did I have today? How many raspberries did I have? Like, did I take the lion's mane or the turkey tail? And then, so far I feel like I'm seeing positive effects on all of that.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. Again, I think it's like a personal thing if you want to try it. I haven't heard anything like life-changing.
Yeah.
Me personally, taking a turmeric supplement every day has been life-changing. I used to have chronic low back pain from a old injury in my 20s. And I think besides avoiding things that aggravate it, I take turmeric every day, take 2 capsules in the morning with breakfast, and I don't have the low back pain like I used to have. So for me, but I haven't tried the other stuff, but for me, turmeric has been very, very helpful in terms of joint pain and like some chronic pain from an old
Yeah.
injury. Yeah.
Maybe since we're on that, like if people want to track what they're doing, like are there apps or are there products out there? Is it just paper and pencil diary? Do you have things that you're giving your current clients? I think I track some of my success, like wearing the Whoop all the time. Like I just don't know if you have some things that you
Yeah.
like using.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Some people keep it in the notes page of their phone because they can write, what they ate that day, how they're feeling. If anyone chooses to work with me, part of my practice, I have kind of a practice management software that you can track in there. And then I can go in and comment, and you can also write notes. So that's super helpful. Some people like MyFitnessPal. I don't find it as effective because you can't really write too many notes in it about like how you're feeling, your energy levels, or anything like that. So that's why I kind of like just like a basic, in the notes page of your phone or something like that. But if you want to track your macros, Lose It or MyFitnessPal can be good options for tracking that too. Okay, thoughts on a gluten-free diet. My thoughts on a gluten-free diet is unless you have celiac or gluten sensitivity, you don't have to avoid gluten. You just want to choose the better varieties, the whole grains, the sprouted grains, something like that. A lot of the gluten-free products, like the gluten-free bread, gluten-free pretzels, are not good for you because they're stripped of fiber. So unless you have celiac or gluten sensitivity, do not have to follow a gluten-free diet. New plant-based meat substitutes, Beyond Products, Impossible Burgers, Avoid are okay. I think those once or twice a week are fine. They're made out of pea protein. There's no real junky ingredients in it, so that can be a fine option. I'm always a believer in like whole foods. So if you are a vegetarian, like a tofu, some of the veggie burgers, but the Beyond Meat products can be a good option once or twice a week. Is white rice an absolute no-no, or is it okay in moderation? It's okay in moderation. However, I much prefer brown rice or quinoa. That's going to have the fiber and a little bit more protein. That's going to be more sustainable. But if you like sushi, get it with the white rice. I've been told sushi not with white rice doesn't taste that good. Okay, perfect. Are there any common ingredients in foods that are a hard no for you? Definitely for me, it's the artificial sweeteners, and you'd be surprised that a lot of foods do have them. So it's important to read those labels and also watch out for added sugars, even if like, so I tell people when they read a food label, the first 4 ingredients are what makes up the majority of the food. So if the second ingredient is sugar, or even if it says like organic cane sugar, you really want to try and avoid foods with too much added sugars in it. But I would say those, and then there's a big thing right now about like dyes, like red dye number 3, which isn't as common in like regular day-to-day products, but the artificial sweeteners, and watch out for added sugars, specifically if it's in like the first 4 ingredients. Um, okay, any other questions, anyone, before we wrap up?
What about maybe some of the different tests that are out there? Again, my personal experience, like I kind of went out to go find a company like 10x Health, and it's like they do 3, 4 different kinds of tests to help you find different deficiencies or like what vitamins you could use, or, like, hey, here's maybe why your gut health isn't as healthy, you're missing this. Like, are there, other than going to your doctor, obviously everyone should just go to their doctor and have that conversation with their doctor, but are there any, I don't know, things you say most people should try to go do test wise to figure some of that out?
Right. So I mean, I think going to your doctor, or I mean, did you like that 10X Health? Because now I'm super curious about it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think I heard it through Gary Brecka, and I
Yeah.
don't know if he's like really with the company anymore, but just like the Dana White story, that where it was like he had high cholesterol, high thyroid, he was wearing a sleep mask, and like they went through the test, and I think he's like 50 years old, and they were like, yeah, you're probably gonna die in 10 years.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you like, if he kept up with all of those high levels of cholesterol and thyroid and all that stuff. So I don't know, I just was obviously intrigued by that. He's a big name, he's in the fitness world, head of UFC. I mean, you would
Yeah.
just think, I mean, he said it himself, he's like, I have access to all the best doctors in every category. And he's like,
Mhm.
anyways, he pretty much just said, like, until he did the 10X
Yep.
testing, which was like they call it the genetic test, which is like that methylation test, and then
Yep.
blood testing for the food and allergies and stuff like that. So that's what attracted me to that one. Again, that's just one
Yeah.
brand. I'm sure there's 100 different brands, but didn't know if
Yeah.
there was one you used or liked or anything like that.
No, not specifically, but I mean, that sounds great. And somebody else just commented on it, like that it's great. I think that's a great option. I think it's really important to know your numbers, really important to know your nutrient deficiencies. A lot of us are deficient in certain things. Like some people may be deficient in iron and not know it, and that can affect your energy levels. So I think whether you go to your doctor or this 10X Health, I think it is important to make sure to get like a full panel, a full profile, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's like, I think I'm at that age, I'm 40. Sorry, everyone, not to make this about Cody Smith's health program here. There's 100 other people on this call. My apologies.
Yep.
But yeah, it was just like gut health was like such a big thing. And I think gut health is like probably most people could probably benefit from it, from my understanding and research of it. So
Yep. A lot of stuff is tied to our gut. So I think gut health is really important. And even taking a daily probiotic can be beneficial if you're someone who's struggling with your gut health for sure.
what about, I know, for example, because they believe in doing things really clean. So obviously 10X also has like their own multivitamins and stuff like that. But like I found a company called like Pure Encapsulation. They seem to have like the really clean the vitamin B12 stuff, or like their multivitamin is just like really clean. Is there brands that you like or tend to lean on?
Yep. So Pure Encapsulations is great. Designs for Health is another brand that I really, really like. And Thorn is another brand that I really like. So those are all three pretty reputable brands. You typically have to buy those online.
Mm-hmm.
If you're someone who walk into CVS, Nature Made is a decent brand if you want to walk into CVS and just pick something up off the shelf. But Pure Encapsulations, Thorn, and Designs for Health are all good brands as well.
Well, hey, I want to say for everyone in the Met PGA and everyone on this Zoom call, I got a lot out of this. I thought this was great. I want to thank you so much for your time and hopping on this Zoom. Unless there's any other questions that pop up here in the next minute or two, unless you have any kind of ending remarks, I just want to say thank you so much. This was great to see you and put a face to a name and get to hear what you had to say.
Thank you for having me. There is one more question, which I think is a good one. Someone just asked, how do you get started? If you want to be a new client, how do you get started?
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yes, if anyone's interested, you can go to my website. You can click the book now button. You can either schedule a discovery call, like a 15-minute free call with me, and we'll talk through what's going on with you. Some people just go on and book, and they book an initial session. And typically how I work before your initial session, I'll have you fill out a medical history form. I'd have you keep track or give me an idea of 2 to 3 days of eating. Based off of that, your lifestyle, your activity level, where you're eating your meals, I create a customized plan for you. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, recipes for you if you cook, or if you have like a partner or a spouse who cooks, a shopping list. So you get a lot out of the initial session. Like I said, I do not take insurance, but I do give a receipt to submit, or if anyone has a flex spending account or like an HSA account, again, whether you personally have it or your spouse has it, if you have a spouse, you can certainly use that to cover sessions. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to email me. I'll put my email right now in the chat. Elise at Elise Shapiro.
Now, if they find you, you're on Instagram, they can find you there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone, when you signed up on the Met PGA website, Nutrition for Golf, the education actual page,
Yep.
there's some about Elise at the bottom. There's her website as well. So everyone, please, on the Met PGA, on the Instagram, not the Instagram, just on Instagram, you can definitely find her. And obviously,
Yeah.
if you have any other ways that you would like to be reached or can be reached.
Yeah, the Instagram, you can direct message me, you can email me, you can go on my website. I'm pretty readily accessible via phone or email. So whatever works for you guys. But yeah, thank you guys for having me. This was great. I'm glad everybody had lots of questions and were interactive.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for hopping on and doing this. It was a great, everyone, thank you for turning out. There was, I think 105 was the final sign up. So you're definitely one of the more popular ones, at least. So thank
Love
you
it.
so much. That's great. Before I probably lose everybody, again, reminders, February 13th, ABCs on how to present yourself in an interview or just visiting another club and meeting new people in the industry. February 19th, how gears and stack and tilt have improved golfers. And then on February 24th, inventing a golf product and bringing it to the market. So 3 really cool Zoom calls happening still in February, more to happen in March, even looking into kind of an in-person gathering, hopefully here at Old Oaks. So just everyone, keep your eyes open, read those Met PGA emails, and we'll see everyone soon. Thank you again.
All right, thank you. Have a good
Yes.
day.
Cheers.